The comic book world can be intimidating. Sometimes you need to be pointed in the right direction. Sometimes you need a comic pro. In this installment of Crisis, a guide to the DC Multiverse, we finally moved into the Bronze and Modern Ages. DC's on the other side of streamlining their universe. Things seem peachy keen for the publisher because things finally make a bit of sense. All the characters in their stable have been rebooted with easy-to-follow, modernized origin stories, and readers, both old and new, can jump on board without years of research. Except for a few glaring omissions like Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and Hawkwoman. Yes, there are 3 of them. Tertiary, somewhat obscure characters to be sure, but their convoluted stories are the cracks in the foundation that lead to Zero Hour. Okay, it's 1994, nearly 10 years after Crisis on Infinite Earths. DC's big extreme events designed to cash in on the perceived industry momentum of the shiny Image Comics emergence are over. Superman is back from the dead, Batman has gotten over that pesky spinal injury, and all that's left is Hal Jordan's fall from grace as Parallax. Jordan had been driven mad during the Death of Superman arc when evil cyborg Superman wiped his hometown Coast City off the face of the planet. He murdered the rest of the Green Lantern Corps and took their rings for his own machinations. Rewind 3 years to DC's annual issue crossover event, Armageddon 2001. In it, a mysterious time traveler named Wave Rider came from 10 years into a dystopian future when a hero-turned-villain named Monarch had killed the world's superpeople and taken over, and that's not a Venture Brothers reference. Wave Rider would look into the possible futures of every hero's timelines to determine Monarch's identity in hopes of preventing his fall. This was one way to explore a sort of multiverse without creating whole new worlds permanently. Monarch was originally planned to be Captain Atom, former Charlton Comics character and the inspiration for Watchmen's Dr. Manhattan. This, in fact, was accidentally leaked to the public before the conclusion of the story and received very, very poorly. Desperate to save face, DC scrambled to change the reveal to be former Teen Titan Hawk from the duo Hawk and Dove. Problem was, Hawk had already been cleared as the possible candidate for Monarch. That caused DC to retcon things in confusing and cheap ways to help support the change. Suddenly they were back to where they were before. Something had to give. With Parallax looking to put right the horrors he suffered, and Hawk/Monarch discovering his possible fate both directions in the timeline, he uses the powers he absorbed from Dove's death at Monarch's hands to turn into the new time-manipulating villain, Extant. Yeah, that should be way clearer. Extant teams up with very powerful Parallax and vows to reshape the universe to fit their ambitions. This is what is known as the Countdown to Zero Hour. It's a new crisis designed to address the insane contradictions that had recently cropped up in continuity, but in classic fashion, it didn't work. Things would only get worse. That's it for this round, fanboys and girls, but there will be more to come. Tune in next time for the beginning of the end of our guide to the DC Multiverse. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at GeekPowVideos, and don't forget to support your local comic shops and retailers. I'm Skip Harvey, and this has been Comic Pro.